Hello, this is Dr. Wagner, and I wanted to make a quick video to show you how to get started with Pseudocode Assignment 1. So for this assignment, I'm assuming that you've already made the pseudocode, but you may not have the Java going. So to get you started with the Java portion of it, what I want to show you is I'm running Dr. Java. So open up Dr. Java. I'm running on Linux, but I know many of you guys are probably working on a Mac or Windows. So, but it should look all the same for you. Please let me know in the discussions or emails if this doesn't. What you want to do to start working in Dr. Java for this first Java assignment is first you need to open a class. Now what a class is basically a container within a file for holding data and kind of modules of code that run the actual code called methods. You'll see in the book we have talked about functions and methods, but for all intents and purposes for this class, methods and functions are the same thing. So I'm going to open up new Java class, and you should get this pop-up window. So the class name and your file name are going to be the same thing. So I'm going to call this assignment 1. Now in Java, all classes and file names the first letter needs to be uppercase. It doesn't need to be, but it's kind of just called a best practice. So I'm going to call this assignment 1, and I'm not going to modify anything else in here. But I do want to include a main method. So a main method tells you where to start, tells Java where to start running the program. So I'm going to hit OK. And so it auto-generates this code. So we have the class. And so a public class. So public means that anyone can see it. And class is just basically, okay, this is a container in Java that contains a bunch of stuff. And then this main method is where you actually code runs. So I'm going to put a little comment in here. In Java, you can do comments with either double slashes or slash star. So I'm going to say main method code starts here. And then it ends comments, these comments in with the star or slash. So within this code, you see that I have this main method, and then within this code, it's segmented using braces. And then you can see here also above the classes segment using braces. So this is called modularization or scoping. Basically, everything that runs in here this will run through here, and then once it gets to the end, it stops essentially. So the end bracket. So in your book, you would have something like display, and then text. In Java, you're going to use the system.out.println. What this does is this prints out text the same way display does for the pseudocode. So I'm going to put text here. And then in Java, every line ends with a semicolon. So make sure to have a semicolon at the end of every line. And so you can see down on this bottom here that I was testing some code earlier. But so right now, basically you have a fully functional program. And so what I like to do is every time I make a couple lines, I like to build my code, which means basically tell Java, okay, convert your code into something you can read a little bit easier, and then I run it. So in Dr. Java, first you need to save the file, so I'm going to save this. And I already had a couple made earlier, and I'm going to call this assignment 1 and save. So this is going to save the file as assignment 1, and let me close this one. So I have one thing here. And then what I'm going to go to is up on the top here, I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to compile current document. So you can do either Shift F5 or just hit F5. I compile it. You see down here it says compilation completed, which means it ran correctly. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to run document, or I run F2. And then what you can see here, I have text up here, and then it prints text and what's called a console display. Basically, it just outputs what you have in your Windows stuff. And so this is the basic kind of, so again, display is equivalent to system.out.println. Next, what I want to go into is how to assign values. So in the book, you'll see set, and then data types will say integer, and then set integer, and then equals integer, and then your data, or I guess you would do declare and type integer, and then the name, so I'll call this just number 1, and then you would do later on, you do set number 1 equals 4 or something like that. In Java, you can combine the declaring and setting all in one line. So I want to declare this value int is equivalent to integer, number 1 is equivalent to 1, and then I'm defining the value. So when you declaring the value, basically tells the operating system I want to make memory for this data size, and then setting the number actually defines the value, or actually puts the value into the memory. So I'm going to do int number 1 equals 4. Remember, always end with a semicolon. I make this mistake all the time. I always forget to end with a semicolon. The code doesn't compile. And then I can make two numbers. So I can do int number 2 equals 3. And then what you can also do is you can display these values. You can multiply these values together and display them. So I'm going to say system.out.println equals 4 times 3. So since these are in quotes, it's considered a string, equals, and then if you want to combine numbers and strings together, you put a plus symbol. If it is plus a string, it will process these numbers, then convert them into another number. So I'm going to put in parentheses number 1 times number 2, and then you can see whenever you type parentheses, it will highlight the part that is being enclosed by this. So what this should do, print out, is 4 times 3 equals, and then the number 4 times number 2 equals what? So this should say 4 times 3 equals 12. So I'm going to save this, and then go to Tools, and do Compile Current Document. This is Compile Completed. And then Run Document, and it says, it prints out text, and this says 4 times 3 equals 12. And so hopefully this will help you get started with this first assignment, and I'll make videos if you guys have any questions about any further assignments for this first assignment. So what you'll need to do for this first assignment is, you're making your recipe. So you'll need to have the recipe basically print out particular values. Oh, and then wait, I forgot. Also, you need to be able to input a value. So let me show you how to input a value very quickly. Actually, this video is going a little long. I'll make another video showing you how to input values. Thank you, and I will be following up with the second value here in a minute.